Manufacturers are dropping new handheld consoles constantly. The sheer volume of hardware flooding the market right now is overwhelming. The decision has shifted. You are no longer weighing price against raw computing power. You are balancing specialized form factors against the friction required to actually use them. Throwing more money at a device won't automatically guarantee a better experience. A higher price tag usually forces a specific trade-off. You gain processing strength, but you sacrifice battery life, carry heavier hardware, or inherit a complicated software setup. This scorecard maps emulation thresholds. First tier, 5th-generation consoles like PS1 and SNES run flawlessly on ultra-budget chips. Middle tier, 6th-generation consoles like PS2 are the sweet spot for Android. Highest tier, PS3 requires expensive PC-level x86 hardware architectures. Pinpointing which of these thresholds you want to cross is the only reliable way to shop. If you don't define that target, you will end up paying for power you don't need, or carrying heavy physical weight you won't use. This chart plots the current market by weighing cost and effort against a device's maximum emulation ceiling. Down here in the low-cost, low-ceiling zone, we have the sub-$100 tier. Devices like the INAO Pocket Air Mini and the Anbernic RG35XX-SP dominate this space. These machines are designed to replicate systems like this original PlayStation. The result is perfect, full-speed emulation for 32-bit and 16-bit games. They give you a nostalgic experience in a form factor that easily slides into a pocket. The compromise is screen aspect ratio and raw rendering power. Because these devices use 4:3 displays to match older games, playing any modern widescreen Android title means dealing with massive black borders. And if you try to push these budget chipsets into complex 3D rendering, they choke immediately. Moving into the medium-cost, medium-ceiling zone, we hit the Retroid Pocket 6. Here, the processing target moves up to the 6th generation, specifically the PlayStation 2. With this hardware, you can natively upscale those titles to twice their original resolution on a vibrant 5.5-inch AMOLED screen, while maintaining 4 to 6 hours of battery life. To deliver that price-to-power ratio, manufacturers rely on safe, standard plastic designs. The device is portable, but you lose the true grab-and-go pocketability of the smaller handhelds. This model effectively marks the upper boundary of frictionless mobile gaming. Once you cross this line and look at premium hardware, you are actively choosing physical or software compromises to gain niche features. Looking at the high-cost, medium-ceiling zone, we find the premium Android tier. These handhelds prioritize physical traits over pure performance upgrades. The Anbernic RG477M features a CNC machined metal shell. It provides a luxurious, cold-to-the-touch feel that plastic devices simply cannot match. But wrapping internal components in solid metal creates a massive physical burden. The device's weight balloons up toward that of a full Nintendo Switch. That means faster hand fatigue during play sessions, louder active cooling fans to manage heat, and a notoriously buggy software user interface. Over in the modular space, the Mengmi Pocket Max takes a different approach by focusing on custom inputs, specifically a magnetic button swapping system. Swapping out a standard mushy D-pad for highly sensitive microswitches gives players a distinct tactile advantage, especially when running fast-paced modern titles via cloud gaming. Yet, that exact hardware is complete overkill if your goal is to play a slow-paced retro RPG. And because it features a massive 7-inch, 140Hz screen, it will never fit comfortably in a pocket. Premium materials and modular features force a direct choice. You have to decide whether you'd rather admire a luxury object or actually be comfortable while playing it. Moving up in the high-cost, high-effort corner, we have the dual-screen multitaskers, like the AYM Thor and the INAO Pocket DS. These devices are specifically built for emulating the layout of systems like this Nintendo DS Lite. They provide a completely native-feeling emulation experience. They also offer the flexibility to run heavy 3D Android games on the top panel while you watch media or read strategy guides on the bottom screen. But powering two separate high-resolution displays drains the battery incredibly fast and often leads to visual fatigue from constantly shifting your focus. The software experience also introduces friction. Getting games to display correctly across two screens means you will spend time navigating custom front ends and manually assigning emulators to specific displays. If we leave the Android ecosystem completely, we hit the x86 powerhouses, devices like the Steam Deck OLED and the ROG Ally X. This architecture is a strict requirement for emulating the 7th generation of consoles, like the PS3. By abandoning energy-efficient mobile chips, these handhelds generate the raw wattage necessary to natively emulate those systems and run modern AAA PC games. The cost is extreme. Total device weight balloons to nearly 800 grams. Battery life plummets the moment the system is put under load, and true portability is effectively erased. Reaching the absolute ceiling of handheld emulation requires walking away from the lightweight convenience of a mobile device entirely. The reality of the 2026 market is that there is no single best handheld. There is only the device that matches your specific tolerance for cost, weight, and setup time. This flowchart is a decision tree designed to help you navigate those trade-offs. Following the path for zero setup and maximum portability for 32-bit games leads directly to the Ayaneo Pocket Air Mini, or the RG35XXSP. If you want flawless 6th-generation upscaling without blowing your budget or straining your wrists, the Retroid Pocket 6 is the clear choice. For those who view their hardware as a luxury item and don't mind a heavy device in exchange for premium metal build quality, the Anbernic RG477M fits the bill. If you are a multitasker who wants perfect native dual-screen emulation, follow this branch to the AYN Thor. And if you absolutely must play 7th-generation titles or heavy PC games on the go, your best move is to abandon Android entirely for the Steam Deck OLED or the ROG Ally X. Defining exactly what you intend to play and where you intend to play it is your best defense against overspending on the endless hype cycle of new hardware.